That's an Amazon Echo. Okay, so you see that, the white bit, that's what a woman, a hacker online, calls a tic tac. So there's a thing like a tic tac. So just pull that little switch and make it disappear. She's a hacker. I also know her as a pedophile from when I was a child in Commahall. She's a beast. And if you look at the boxes, the colour of the boxes, the cardboard, not the blue ones, just the brown ones, that's the kind of clothes she was wearing. She wore blue as well, not this colour, like a faded, a lighter blue, maybe grey blue. But she's one of the people that crashed the car, the van, was in the van when it crashed. She crashed it herself. The Sherpa van when we were at Hazelhead. Police were called. They were only interested in my welfare, it seemed. They wanted to know if she had anything to do with this young man's history. Because he's got quite an interesting history, and he's just a young guy, a young, I think they said young soul. And he said, "Are we going to be leaving them with a soul?" Basically, that could have been them as well, but there's others that have said that as well. Actually, but that's the things they talk about. See, these Christians, when they've raped kids, they want the children to be the demon. So the female pedophile tells you to make that white tic tac disappear. But I'm telling you a reason why you should always have that tic tac visible, because it hides the camera. You don't want a hacker like the ones I know online and in the community, because the hackers that are even working for the police hub and NATO's hub here in Scotland, just outside of Edinburgh, okay, and they were near me in Peterhead as well, and Yorkshire. There's a hub there too, and they intercept communication. Okay, that's how I know for a fact they're gonna, when I appeal the cases against me, I will force them to produce evidence that they have been hacking me since they have been interested in me since a child. And that is involved Donald Trump, the pedophile Donald Trump, your president in the United States of America, a beast and a child sex trafficker and a child murderer. Okay? Now it's absolutely unbelievable. Even my brother's wife, Linda, at the time, with the underpants business, the dirty underwear, you know, the back to front, shitty underpants back to front, to make them last longer. Okay, and Stephen Gresham talking about biting the fingers off a little girl, a little boy. I mean, when I was a child, it was wee man, wee woman, and that's pedophile, short stature pedophile. The police officers that came to me are connected to the sweetie shop people. Now, if you think about the Ukraine and the international remote controlled World War II bombers, Spitfires, the jets, now they can do a pulse jet, they can do, I don't know if they've actually mastered a regular jet, I think it's called the Whittle, but they're involved, you know, the drones that they use today to murder innocent people in mainly Muslim countries, and Russia, they murder innocent Russians too, which we don't get to hear about. It's maybe a better idea not to talk about innocent Russians, because they'll just put a load of crap on the internet for a little short burst, and then it'll disappear, because the Russians are not popular You see, the arseholes that be haven't realised that it's better to do business with Russia and China, purely business. But we're not talking about going to war or avoiding war. We're talking about just let's stick to business. Than that fucking arsehole Zelensky and his fascist friends. So anyway, yeah, the Poles as well that escaped. See, Russia demanded that the Poles were sent back. He said these Poles have committed atrocities against us. So he ordered their return. They were the Nazi Poles. And even some of the Nazi Poles that settled in and around Peterhead, they'd committed serious offences too. They'd just higher up. So they never got sent back. So we need to get the Poles and the White Russians handed over to. Well, if the Russians don't want them, then we'll have to treat them as. If the Russians don't want them as criminals, then war criminals and any other kind of criminal. We'll have to treat them as persons of interest and suspicious. In a suspicious manner because they are not us. And why would the Russians not want them? Okay.